Hi, Shell Point. I'm Wendy Pereira, Events Coordinator, and I'm here today with Lee and Dee Moore, residents here at Shell Point, and they have brought the Florida Rep play, Refugee, to Shell Point. So welcome, guys. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Great. Well, we are so excited. For April 25th at the Village Church, we have the Florida Repertory Theater coming here to do a play called Refugee. What is it about?
Correct. Well, may I tell you how it came about?
Sure.
It's put on by the educational department at Florida Rep, and we were invited to September to see this. It was a world premiere. So we saw it, and immediately afterwards, I went up to Cody Jones, the educational director at Florida Rep, and said, would you come to Shell Point and do this if we can get it approved? And he said, absolutely. And Lee and I said we would take care of the financial obligations. The next morning, I called Laura Slack, said, we have a proposal. She referred me to Beth, and we're doing it. We're so pleased to be doing it.
Oh, and we're so thankful that you're doing it. It's going to be such a great opportunity for residents, employees, staff, our children. I'm bringing my kids. It's going to be such a great play. So thank you so much.
Let me tell you a little bit about the educational department at Shell Point, because many people see the plays at Shell Point, at the Florida Rep, and they think that's what it is. But it's more than that. They have a whole department that is tasked with taking live theater to schools. And last year, they took live theater to 37,000 students in the surrounding area. Many of those students probably had never seen live theater before. So Cody is the director of the educational department. Always looks for material that's appropriate for taking it to schools. And he saw the book, Refugee by Alan Gratz, saw that it was a bestseller on the New York Times list for young people, read the book, and thought it could be adapted for a play. So he asked for permission to do that, and then he retained a playwright that he knew to adapt it as a screenplay, as a play. And then we saw it, and we saw it as a world premiere. And it really is very interesting to see something go all the way from book form to play form and then see it presented live. This is a story about 3 different families at 3 different points in history. You have a family in Nazi Germany in the 40s, you have a family in Cuba in the 90s, and you have a current family living in Syria. And at some point in their life, the head of the family says, we simply can't stay here any longer. We have to leave everything we know and go somewhere else. I'm not sure where that will be, but it has to be better than this because this is not safe anymore. So that's what it's about. A very interesting twist to this is that although they exist in at different times, it all comes together at the end, and the paths cross in a very interesting way right at the end of the show, and it's really powerful.
That was the most amazing thing, when at the end they tie from 1940s, 3 different countries, to present day, and they all fit. And I think it shows us how small we really are, and how the world is just one big place.
Right.
And another reason I think this appealed to us is it's such an international topic now, and there are so many refugees all over the world.
Yes.
And it's very moving.
Right.
And we're really hoping, it was fun to see it. We were invited, we're show sponsors at Florida Rep too. We sponsor something called Play Lab, which does exactly what Refugee does. It creates a new play. So we sponsor that, and they invited us to see this performance. And we get there, and the audience is almost all kids, of course.
Right.
You know, and we're thinking, oh, this is going to be awful. They're going to be loud. But they weren't. And it was so special to watch them absorb and to see them respond afterwards. And we thought it would be so special to bring something. And we have found out, talking to residents about it, that we have a lot of residents that are refugees.
Yes.
And I think we have some employees that are too. So, and we're really hoping employees will come and bring their children. And you said you
Yes.
will, and we're thrilled about that.
Yes.
But I hope quite a few do, because it'll be a good experience for them.
Definitely.
It's powerful.
Yeah, it is powerful. And one of the things I'd like people to take away from this is I think it's easy for us who live in a very comfortable environment to feel that we don't have much in common with refugees, but we do. The thing we have in common is that we love our families and we would do anything to keep them safe. And we share that. It's a common bond. And this shows that. This illustrates that very, very graphically.
Yeah, it does.
Well, we are so looking forward to it. Thank you both for everything you have done to bring this here to Shell Point. We're very excited. So we hope you join us at the Village Church for this free performance from the Florida Repertory Theater. It will be April 25th at 6:30 p.m.